Good morning, sir. How's your day going so far? Mikey's inside, the workbench is inside, Larry's inside, but going outside. It's not too bad out here this morning. It's not raining, but it is a little cold, and I'm not really one for the cold. So I've brought the workbench inside to do some small carpentry with some hand tools as I attempt to decide what I'm gonna do for this bottle wall. And I was having a really tough time visualizing things, but I think I have a plan to help me do that. So let's go back inside and see what I've got in mind. So here we have it. This tape shape is pretty much the same as that shape there. And my idea is to take the bottles and the stuff and lay them out to see how it's all gonna look in the space on the floor. I guess I kind of want to start with the diamond. Got some center lines there. And then, yeah, I don't know, kind of figure out what it is I want. I don't have enough bottles to get this whole thing done, but I think I have enough to try to figure out one side and then go from there. So I'm just gonna play around with some glass, make some shapes, and see what I come up with. Working inside means working in my slippers, which is always enjoyable. Okay, so some of them are way too big. Or maybe not. This is actually a little bit too thick for the wall, so I don't know. I hope it works. I think maybe it'll be sticking out a little bit on the inside, which should be fine. But yeah, that actually seems just under that same thickness, so that could work. Now we've got sticking two of them together, which is around the same thickness as well. So this seems to be going sort of to plan so far. So we can have little dots around the thing. And then I've got these weird hexagon-y ones, which aren't thick enough really. But maybe they don't all have to be the same thickness. Maybe they can kind of go in and out. Yeah, I think I'll probably keep them the same thickness. It's sort of hard to know what to do. It's when I get to this point of having to actually make decisions about artistic-y things, I'm in awe for ages and not really make choices and just delay and delay. So I don't know. This is a little too thick. It's about the same as that. I just don't know. I just don't know what to do. So I've also got this super long bottle that's much thinner than the rest of them. These bottles are a lot thinner as well. So maybe it does make sense to have different levels kind of undulating. Yeah, so I really don't know. There's lots of options, lots of different shapes, and lots of opportunity for not making decisions. So I'm just gonna move some glass around and see what I come up with, make a call, build the wooden frame for all the glass to sit in, and then I'll probably have to actually go buy more glass in town before I can finish things. But first step, figuring out what's gonna go where. So I really don't know. It's kind of a tough call. I like this shorter bottle over here. I like the dots, but I don't know. It's kind of tricky to make things random. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm going to go with something like this on this side here. I like the dots. I like having the bottle there. I like the diamond in the middle. And so at a minimum, even though I maybe haven't fully decided, and even though I need to get some more bottles from the shop, I can still get going on the frame. So I know that I want the diamond a little bit higher than in the space, more towards the top. And fortunately, I've measured everything out down here to be the same as up there. And so I can use this to help it be easier to make the wooden frame. Because you can't really just build the cob up and set this in there. It's going to be way too heavy. I could possibly do it with these little ones, but with the big things, you want to have it built into the frame, and that means making the wattles going across, as I always do, but then having something that's going to poke up and be sort of a diamond shape so that this thing can nestle in there. I'm not totally sure how I'm going to do this yet, but hopefully I can figure it out as I go. It started raining. Slippers are definitely not the proper attire, but I am happy I've moved the workbench inside. So I've had a change of plans. Making these sorts of design decisions is so hard for me. I've decided I think I'm just going to keep it simple, keep this to the center, and perhaps on the other sides I can maybe put lights or shelves, who knows, but building the frame to go around all of this stuff is going to be really tricky, and so I don't want to overcomplicate things. I feel like this is fine. It's simple. It should look pretty cool, and building the frame hopefully won't be too hard. So I've brought in some bits of wood to use as the wattles, and I'm basically going to use this area down here to frame it all up and then stick it in place. All under the supervision of sleepy, lazy Mikey. Too cold out there. Goodbye, miserable weather. I'm just going to get on with cutting these pieces, and the next time you see me, we'll hopefully have a frame. Okay, the frame is in progress, but there's still a bunch of work to do, and I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it. But the idea is that sort of sits in there somehow, and the little dots also somehow go around it, and the sides are buttons as usual, but I'm hoping to come up with some idea of a shelf or maybe a light feature. I don't really know yet, but it's all in progress. There's still work to be done, and this took me a ridiculously long amount of time. I did visit some friends for coffee, but I have been working pretty solidly all afternoon, and that's okay because just look at this miserableness out there. It is not nice at all, so it's been nice to be hiding inside the house working on this. Carpentry projects like this can be super finicky. I really didn't have any idea of how I was going to tackle it, and I kind of still don't. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do the little dot parts. It might be a matter of putting in a little bit of a frame on the side parts and building up the cob and then just kind of resting the dot things on there. Who knows? What I do know is that last week I took a course in Tadilact, which is a Moroccan technique for waterproofing lime. So I'm gonna take you back a week. We're gonna go on that course, and I'm gonna chat a little bit about Tadilact. But before we do that, let's go to my shower where I've stalled on the work. My excuse is going to be that I was waiting for a delivery of sand. The reality is that I just wanted to work on some different things. But now I'm back into it again, and as I build this wall up and finish this side, I'll be able to just have this as one big sort of cohesive shower blob that's going to be waterproofed by using the Tadilact method. And basically, Tadilact is a smooth, polished lime mixed with marble dust, and it's going to be a lot of work, and I was really, really intimidated by it. But luckily for me, my friend and natural building mentor, Barbara, ran a course last week. So I feel a little bit more prepared than I did before. It's a lot less intimidating to me now. And it's a really, really fun process. So it's going to be a big job. There could be 3 or 4 of us in here working on it all at the same time. But I feel equipped, at least, to get the job done. So let's go to Mount of Oaks, a community quite near to here. I'll put the links below. They run wonderful courses, have lots of amazing buildings. It's a very beautiful place. And Barbara and Emma were amazing hosts, and I really loved the course. So the cats have been kicked out for the day. Sorry, little guy. Hopefully it stays dry for them. But it's definitely blustery out here. So far we have blue skies, but that seems like it could change according to the forecast. Hopefully not, though. I hope you have a nice day today. Rain wouldn't be ideal for where I'm going today. Got something very exciting planned for the next couple days. So let's hope the rain stays away and the wind dies down. Let's go.
Thanks for coming.
All right, see you later. taught by my wonderful friend Barbara at beautiful Mount of Oaks. I always love learning from her. She's just a fantastic teacher. I'm really lucky to live in a place that has lots of interesting communities around, teaching all sorts of different things from permaculture, design courses, to natural building stuff, which is what I'm most interested in, to fermentation and drumming circles, all kinds of stuff that I don't even know what's out there. But there's plenty of cool things around, and I actually love taking courses, especially in natural building. And I'm considering going to the UK in July to go to something called Clay Fest, which is, as you can imagine, all about building with clay. And I'm not sure yet if I'll be able to afford to go, but I'm gonna do my very best because it should be a really, really fun time with lots of natural builders that I've followed for many years. So I'd love to go and possibly learn how to build an earthen floor, maybe to put into my tool shed, or there's a natural plasters course. There's a whole bunch of different things. If you're interested in the schedule and learning more about Clay Fest, I'll put a link below. I also went to, what was it called? Straw Bale Fest or something like that, which was literally about building with straw bales. And I was amazed at how many different types of people were there. I was expecting it to be filled with a whole bunch of hippies, but it was mostly engineers and architects looking to share the knowledge and also learn more about building with straw. And so it's nice to see natural building materials moving into the mainstream and people who have careers in the building field actually picking up on the wonderful properties of these materials and looking to take them more into the mainstream. So it's really a wonderful community of natural building people out there, and I just love learning about it, love practicing it, and doing as many courses as I can find, really. So that's enough about that. It's time to go back inside the house, even though the weather has definitely taken a turn for the positive. It's gorgeous out here, perfect temperature, not too hot, not too sunny, but yeah, perfect for being outside. But I really want to get a couch in my place, and I'm not gonna put the couch in until I finish this bottle wall because it'll be in the way. So I'm full steam ahead on that, and I've done loads and loads of preparation this morning. So let me show you what I've done and what I plan to do for the rest of the day. So we've got little Mikey here. How's it going? Hanging out inside, even though it's beautiful out there. And I've got my office area, which is also a partial building area. So I'm going to do a few things right now. I'm going to sand the top of this shelf. I'm going to glue this on and possibly nail it as trim. And then I'm going to linseed oil all of that. And I've been already hard at work with the staple gun. Oh, and the wheelbarrow is in the house once again. I've already been hard at work with the staple gun, fastening this burlap stuff onto the wood so it sticks better, sticking in a whole bunch of screws so the clay doesn't want to pull away from the sides when I put it on. And this has been a massive amount of work. It's been a very full morning, super finicky, but everything's prepared. And the reason I've done that is because I've decided that rather than putting lime on this side of the wall, I'm going to actually build it up more with clay, even though the clay is harder to come by for me than the lime, and even though I'm going to eventually do a finished plaster of lime on this side. The reason being, I need to build up the thickness of the wall so that when I get up to putting the little dot things in, I'm hoping to be able to just rest it on the clay itself. As it is now, it would be too thin to be able to do that. It'd be too wobbly. And it'll also help me get this diamond piece, which is quite heavy, into place as well. So I'm gonna basically use what I have here, head back to the bottom of this wall, build it all the way up, and when I get back to this part, I'll make some more decisions for what I want to do on the sides and start work on the middle part here. So I have a pretty busy little flurry of work ahead of me, but I've done all the prep and I'm ready to roll. Okay, here we are. I've created a big mess down here and a smooth wall on this side. So though I've used up a pretty massive wheelbarrow of stuff, it doesn't seem like a lot's changed. But what's happening is that I'm making the wall thicker overall so that when I get to the point of adding the glass dots and the glass diamond thing, everything will be thicker and it'll give it way more support. So this has been a very important phase in the creation of the bottle wall, even though when you go back over here, it doesn't seem like a lot's going on. But a lot is going on, I promise you, and I still need to head to the shops anyway to get a few more bottles, which I'm going to do tomorrow. So even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to go any higher until I do that. So since I didn't really feel like mixing up a whole new batch of cob, I've decided to stop. And I'll probably switch focus to video editing or something like that. But I did want to point something out. Though I've oiled this, it has remained the same color, which is a bit frustrating. The Douglas fir will sometimes turn into a beautiful orange color when you linseed oil it. And sometimes it just kind of stays the same. It depends on, I think, which part of the wood is being cut. I don't really know. I have a feeling this is going to turn more orange. So it might look really weird where I have a shelf that's kind of not the same color as the other one, and it doesn't match with the rest of the woodworking. Probably something that only I would be annoyed with. I don't really know. So I'm hopeful that when I oil the top one, it'll stay a little similar in color to this, which will also match the trim, which is something I buy from the shops. So other than the weirdness with the color of the shelf, everything seems to be going to plan. Mikey seems to be enjoying his day. He has not moved from here all day long, just chilling out. He's got the right idea. And yeah, I'm happy with how this is going. It's been slow but steady, and I feel like I'm about to finish it off, hopefully this weekend. And once I do, there's gonna be a couch in here. So it's a good thing I'm working inside today, because one of the things that happens this time of year is olive branch burning, or just general burn piles for all of the debris that just gets accumulated over the winter. And it makes working out here very, very smoky sometimes. So that one's quite far away. There was one just beyond that little tree there a couple weeks ago, and it literally gassed me back inside my house. So you can see how much that's kind of engulfing the valley. Hopefully it doesn't come up here. At the moment it's fine, but when these fires are burning, it gets pretty smoky out here and pretty unpleasant. So I tried to avoid the burn piles as much as possible. Sometimes you just have to do it. I've got lots of olive branches to tidy up down at Sinead's and Sanchez's places, and I have a feeling I might have to do a burn pile or two. But for the most part, I like to use the organic matter from the trees around other trees as mulch. And I find it really unpleasant, not only for the rest of the people around me, but also having to tend over a burn pile and just hang around it all day and make sure it doesn't set fire to anything else. It's a really boring and annoying job. So I would much rather get the snippers out, chop it up into small pieces, and use it as mulch. But you don't always have that option, and some people have loads and loads of trees, and burning is the only way to go. So that's it for today's video. I've still got a bunch of stuff to do inside, so I've got one more video, hopefully, where I can tie up all these loose ends inside the house before coming back outside to do a lot of work on the land and to do some work also on the water tank. I've got my friend coming next week to do some repairs with me, so I've got a bunch of prep to do with that as well. So I've really got a lot on my plate. I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed, but I'm also feeling quite motivated with this beautiful weather, and it's gonna be great to get back outside. But for now, I'm all about preparing for the couch, and I feel like I'm on track. So as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next video.